as a global brands company in the business of snack food in categories like chocolate and biscuit, we do see the different countries in Asia evolving in a very different way. By far, the biggest opportunity is in China, where more than 10% of our categories on average are already being sold online, and our snacking categories are growing on average at around 20% year on year in China. So the opportunity for a business like us to grow our brands, reconnect with consumers, and build and develop the category in China is phenomenal. The markets in the rest of Asia is also quite fertile, but evolving at in different ways. If you take a market like India, which is, I would say, at a very, very nascent stage for food and beverage sales on e-commerce. Our categories in India are, below 1% penetration rate, so it's very early stages. But we're talking about a huge population there with a growing smartphone penetration and a growing online shopping habit. The thing is, with e-commerce in any of these markets, the consumer drivers are quite different, online versus offline. Our research shows that typically in markets like China and India, the average online shopper of our categories is younger, is probably making purchases through smartphone, is probably better educated with a greater disposable income, however, is more choiceful about what they spend their money on, and expect more differentiated access to products and a more differentiated engagement with brands. So therefore, we are looking at a demography of consumers that have quite different needs, and we've got to make sure that our brands and our categories deliver to those needs. And a key part of that is the way in which we connect with consumers online and build our brands online. The way in which we select the assortment that we range online, as well as the way in which we use media to build connections with the brand, with the consumers. These are the ways in which we reconnect and re-engage with consumers in the online medium. When it comes to food and beverage, the vast majority of food and beverage sold offline is what we call full basket purchases. When you buy categories like biscuit and chocolate and so forth, it's often you go to a supermarket and you buy it as a basket of other groceries such as, rice and noodles and sauce and so on and so forth. And that opportunity continues to exist online. But what's happened with online is that it's also created a new type of opportunity for us, what we call single item retailing, where a consumer makes comparisons between multiple online retail environments for a particular brand or a particular category, makes a choice, makes a purchase, and leaves. And they may not come back for a little while. It's not regular the way in which a grocery shopping is. This type of single item retailing behavior creates an opportunity for companies like us, particularly in gifting. We find a role for biscuits and chocolates in that consideration set for a one-off gifting purchase. And this is a market opportunity we believe has been created by e-commerce, and we're obviously betting on that in a big way. Whether you're in Australia or Japan or India or China, the two common denominators for consumers that have chosen to buy food and beverage online, the first is smartphone penetration. The other common lifestyle trend is reduced time pressures, the fact that consumers don't have the time anymore to go to the store and do grocery shopping and so on and so forth. Now what's happening is when they go ahead and make the shift to buy groceries online, of course they've taken their business out of a physical store and have taken their business to an online world. So there are going to be winners and losers in this, absolutely. What we find is that it varies by market. In countries like China, we're seeing a reduction in footfalls in supermarkets and hypermarkets in favor of e-commerce. And it's probably a phenomenon that exists in other markets as well. What we see though is in countries, especially countries like India, which have a very strong traditional trade or mom and pop store network, if you like, these mom and pop stores continue to have an important role to play. They, I believe, haven't necessarily lost business to the online medium. So the jury's out on exactly how this is going to play out. And of course, major supermarket chains are responding by developing their own online and omni-channel offers. So this is quite a dynamic space, and time will tell exactly how this plays out. So opportunities are enormous. The opportunity is there for us to make sure that as consumer behavior for purchase of groceries shifts from offline to online, that we continue to find a meaningful role for our categories and our brands. But also there's an opportunity to build brands online through digital marketing. What we're finding increasingly that using the online retail platform as well as other online media such as social media, there is a great opportunity to really engage and draw consumers much closer to our brands than we have in the past. I'll give you an example. Recently we ran a campaign with our very famous Oreo cookies, and we allowed consumers the opportunity during a kind of a short promotional period to go ahead and configure their own packaging for Oreo. They could make a series of choices on artwork, on personalized messaging and so forth. Results from that kind of campaign is terrific. I mean, we sold 40,000 boxes in two days, but more importantly, we had a positive effect on the overall biscuits category in the online environment in China.